One's just a fail-safe, don't get spooked out. I'm here just for support these guys and the boss, so I'm just we're gonna be in the background, so, you know, it's not
But is this a television?
no, this is recorded
Specifically for us.
and to protect you as well.
Right. So we don't think this is enough.
How are you doing? Better than being where you were, right? Right. You had a chance to talk with your attorney, Mr. Bowman, right? He's here with you. I just want you to know that I just came from the state's attorney for Troconis, who's handling this case. And I had over an hour time to talk to him about this case. So this is coming from him, okay? This is your chance. Right now, you're charged with entering prosecution and tampering with evidence, okay? This is your chance, if you want to see your family and your daughter and your mother and not get charged with murder, this is your chance, and it's your one and only chance. You have to tell us. We know you weren't there. We know you were lying to us last time. We want to know who was involved and where Jennifer is. Who was involved in the disappearance of Jennifer Dulos, and who and where Jennifer Dulos is right now. We know you know. And we just want you to come clean and tell us everything that you know. That's coming straight from the state's attorney. You want me to convey that, okay?
She understands that she waived her right to us the other day, it's still in effect.
It's still in effect.
You're talking to us voluntarily. You don't have to talk to us. You're here, you're not in custody. We're here at your attorney's office in Westport. He's our other way to explain to you.
She understands that she's going to answer your questions truthfully. Okay. We may all have differing views of what she knows, but she's going to answer your questions truthfully.
Okay. So you wanted to talk to us today, right?
Well, you guys wanted to talk.
All right.
and I
Okay.
said yes.
So tell us everything you know about the night of May 23rd, going into the morning of May 24th, and the disappearance of Jennifer Dulos from her home in New Canaan.
Okay, so that's like
Just-
the timeline?
Yeah, just tell them from Thursday night they're asking you through Friday.
I might not be accurate with the time.
As best you can.
But,
Best you can.
but my daughter called me, the room of my daughter is, you guys be in the house and then
We personally have not, but we understand.
the room, it's once you get up the stairs, and then, I don't know, you walk 3 meters, and
All
it's,
right. Jennifer, I'm just going to stop you just for a second. Or excuse me, Michelle.
I mean, it's okay, I can go faster too.
No. You know that we've done search warrants, executed search warrants at Fort Jefferson in Farmington, right?
That you are inside the house looking for things,
And
yes,
that's where you live,
yes.
Fort Jefferson Crossing?
Yes.
And you live there with Fotis Dulos
And my daughter Nicole,
and your daughter Nicole.
yes,
And how old is Nicole?
12.
Okay. You have to understand that we have more information than we had last time we spoke with you.
Okay.
Okay. So do you remember when we talked about how we felt that you were going through a list or a script?
Yes,
Okay. We found that piece of paper, those papers.
yes,
Okay. We don't need to go through those. We need to know, what do you know about what happened to Jennifer Dulos
okay,
on the 24th of May and where her body is? We have enough information right now for Fotis for murder.
okay,
Right now, you were not arrested for murder, he's not arrested for murder. You both are arrested for tampering with evidence and hindering prosecution.
yes,
In all likelihood, he will be arrested for murder. You need to tell us what you know. This is coming from the state's attorney. Just listen. You need to tell us what you know about Jennifer's murder and Fotis Dulos. We know that you weren't there at the murder scene at the time. We know you have information. And we need to know that. We do not want to go through, listen to me, we don't want to go through the script because we found the script. And if we start to review the script, the rehearsed story that we found documentation of, our instructions from the state's attorney are out that door. And when we walk out that door, that will be it. This is coming from the state's attorney. So please tell, I don't want to hear the script. I want to hear what happened to Jennifer, and I want to hear who was involved in her murder.
I don't know. You're asking me something that I don't know. But can I say something? Don't get upset to me.
I'm not upset, I just want you to understand where we're from.
When you say rehearsal, it's not a rehearsal. It's Sunday.
Okay, you'll have a chance. We found a piece of paper that mirrors your statement to us. We don't want to talk about that. We want to talk
What
about.
do you want me to tell you? You told me
Just, all
something.
right, let me try to. What he's asking you is to tell them what you did, what you heard, what you saw, what you knew from Thursday night on.
Thursday night, I went to sleep with my daughter. I woke up at the same time that I usually woke up, besides on
So was
Thursdays.
there Thursday?
Yes.
He was there all night. Did you leave?
Well, I left the room at 12:59 because there was thunderstorm. My daughter called me. You guys have my phone, and you can see that I talked to my daughter.
Well, we can see that you may have talked to your daughter, but we can also see that there were no thunderstorms in Farmington that evening.
I don't know if thunderstorm. It was
You just said
raining.
thunderstorm.
I know, but
There was almost zero precipitation that evening.
Okay.
I just want you to know.
okay.
Just going to pause the video at 6 minutes and 49 seconds. Detective Kimball, you indicated to the defendant that there was zero precipitation that evening. Where did you get that information?
Got that from two sources. I got that from weatherunderground.com and timeanddate.com, two websites on historical weather.
And what area was that historical, well, beginning with Weather Underground, what area of Connecticut were you researching?
I was researching Farmington.
And what area did it display?
It displayed weather from Brainerd Airport in Hartford, which is approximately 24 miles to the northeast.
Okay, and with respect to time and date?
Oh, I'm sorry, 2019, May 24, at approximately between midnight and 1 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. And so did you, well, let me ask you this. Were you trying to be deceptive with her, or was this the best information that you had at the time?
I was not trying to be deceptive. That was the information I had at the time.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And checking out every aspect that we can of your story, and your story has some significant problems.
Okay.
Okay, so you were with your
My
daughter.
daughter called me at 12:59, I believe.
I don't, okay, so you slept
And I
with
slept
Nicole
with her
that
until 6:40, yes, that alarm.
night? When you left the bed with Fotis, was he there in the bed?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
so at 1 o'clock,
12:59.
1 o'clock in the morning, you went in with Nicole.
Yes,
Okay, and then go ahead from there.
I slept with her, her alarm and mine are set up at, I think hers is at 6:35, mine for sure, 6:40. We woke up, she takes showers, I go to my room, I also do the same thing.
It's Fotis there.
He was there, and we woke up,
He was there at the house.
he was in the house.
Okay. So what if I were to tell you that I have evidence that he was not in the house at that time? Morning. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't want to be over dramatic. I don't want to,
Okay.
this is not, listen, this is not any kind of threat. I just want you to understand. You have a daughter who's 12 years old. You have a mother. How old is your mom?
60.
Okay. All right. You want to see that, right? You don't want to go to prison. You don't want to get arrested for it.
I was trying to, I'm sure you got released from the court, right? Have you looked at the news at all? Have you seen your face plastered? I mean, I'll be honest with you, you're probably one of the most hated women in America right now. And I'm not being mean. So, this is like the golden ticket. If you know where he could have done something and could have, where he frequents, if you could tip us off, Maybe he said something in jest, something in passing that you can say, you know what, that rings a bell. Maybe.
All right, let me try to,
Okay.
if you wanna know, where he, frequents, where the possibilities are that he could have done something, we have spent time in doing that. But, you know, you're asking her about that morning. And I think she understands, you know, what she's facing. Are you sure that Fotis was there that morning? When you woke up?
Well, I slept with Nicole, so I believe he was, but now that you tell me he wasn't, he wasn't.
Did you see him in the morning?
No, I did not see him, like,
So I think Michelle, that helps us. It does, that's huge.
okay,
So stuff like that.
okay.
That's the honest thing we're looking for. Remember, it was for certain, he was there the other day, and then we.
Well, because we take
We're not
shots
gonna-
almost every day
Okay,
together,
right.
so like, I get paranoid because it's not like,
Okay, well,
if you
first
tell
thing.
me what I do, like even on Monday, I was trying to do the timeline and I couldn't think like what happened on Monday.
Okay.
We're not ready.
Let's take a breath here,
Yes.
okay? You're in my office,
Okay.
all right? I want you to just
Relax.
tell the truth and relax, all right?
Can I just cut to the chase here? Do you know where she is, and can you please tell us, or at least lead us in the right direction?
I don't know, but I,
And then we can worry about the other stuff later, because right now we need to find Jennifer.
okay, I don't know, but.
Can we see what you have?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect,
Just get away from all that.
okay? All right. All right, this is, she's done 2 drawings here, okay? And the first, the one on the left side, is a drawing of where they used to go motorcycling.
In the back of the house.
In the back of the
One
house.
property.
Oh, for the Jefferson Crossing.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Can I explain it?
absolutely.
We discovered this road last year. These are like the tower electricity, and this is the, you told me that the what?
Environmental protection, probably.
Can that be?
Go
Is
ahead,
there?
just tell them what you know.
So we go with the motos, we go into this route,
Where's Fort Jefferson?
this house.
Okay, so
This
this is Jefferson Crossing here.
Yes, well, I'm missing one more.
That's,
This is the trampoline, the playground,
okay, so you ride out of Fort Jefferson.
in the back, we go
Electricity
through the
crossing.
back of these 2 houses. This guy's upset because we're not supposed to ride
We
there.
know that. We know which one here.
Okay, Gerard, no? So we get to the gravel, we go, at some point, we get out, because there's like another road for vehicles that are supposed to be around this. And then we go, like, there's like a trail that's made by people doing mountain bike, walking, the dogs or whatever. Motos are not allowed here. And we go, and this is like more trees and more off-road. Then we go. There's a little stream, we pass that. Then this becomes like an open field. That here there's a reservoir because one time we kept going and we saw it and we turned back because the police saw us, no? And then we go back and we go here and we go back to the gravel and into the house.
Okay.
That we started doing it last year. Around September, we discovered, I'm not 100%, but more or less. And the last time we went, for 2 times, we've done a different road. Once we get here, this is an open field. Again, this becomes trees. There's a row of houses here. We go, we do moto, and then this is 44, and then we go back on 44 briefly to Jefferson because if we come this way, he gets
So
upset.
this is an area that you're familiar with, and that Fotis is familiar with, you're telling me?
Yes, but familiar at the most 50
Been on-
times.
Right, because I see it says 15 times,
Yes,
this is two times.
the one that is longer. And in these 2 times, there's one that was another paper. Because you cross 44, there's like a plant.
These are 2 different things, right?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Just ask you, as far as this piece of paper goes, Michelle, why are you showing us this? When we're asking you about Jennifer Dulos, why are you showing us this?
Because Andy said, is there anything else where you usually go with photos or you do things? And I said, well, we go more. I mean, the pond is like the place where we go the most. That we're
The Avon,
Yes, that's where we go from
sports
here
meeting and stuff.
to the end of when the competition, the King of the Pond, which is at the end of September. We pretty much, if the days are pretty, we go almost every day.
Do you know if you or Fotis went to this area around the 24th of May?
And me, no.
You didn't. Do you know if Fotis did?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
The last time I went with Fotis, it was like about 3 weeks ago in Babel,
Mm-hmm.
like 3 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
And you all went riding your motorcycles?
each, yes.
Okay, through that property?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Just out of curiosity, do you guys normally have your cell phones with you? I mean,
I
just
do
told-
because of Nicole and
Yeah, what
have
about
about,
Fotis?
no, I think he lives there.
Does he normally, I mean, he has that business right in the Fort Group. That's his
Yeah.
business. He owns it. Is he like the owner or the owner of the?
I don't understand
But I
it,
mean, that's his business phone, the 8625 number. Does he usually carry that phone?
yes. If that's his cell phone, which is the same one from the company.
Does he usually have the phone with him?
Yes, but I don't know riding because I'm the one who yet takes a back.
How about water skiing? Does he usually carry it? Is it on the
Yes.
boat? Because we've been told it's on the boat when he water skis. Okay.
Who's in the boat? Fotis, yes.
That the phone is with
Ah,
the boat,
yes,
so
yes,
he keeps it with him a lot, right?
yes.
Because that's his business phone, the 8625
Yeah,
number.
I don't remember. but
It's
yes,
6478.
one.
Okay. All right, so you're showing us just because this is an area that you and Fotis are familiar with, where the
Yes.
Fotis is familiar.
Andy's asked me, tell me please, where do you usually frequently go or spend time? So I told him, well, the pond, one,
Mhm.
this we've done, and then the lots.
What's this?
So this is how I was explaining.
These are the lots that she has previously talked to you about. Why don't you explain what this is, okay?
Okay.
So at the upper left,
Well, Ford Group or Fotis, he owns 585 Deer Cliff,
Mhm.
which is like 100 meters from Jefferson Crossing.
Mhm.
This is a tear down, this is a lot that is for sale.
Mhm.
Then Deer Cliff, I was explaining earlier, it becomes like Eli Road. He with Stefan, that is from Coldwell Bank, he's a realtor and a friend.
Stefan is a realtor?
Stefan Rage.
Okay.
Fotis that I think yesterday, the day before I passed by and I didn't see the signs anymore. But there were signs of Ford Group because the way Fotis arranged with some people that has lots is like, well, let's make a package for the MLS and the package with the house, and if they buy the package with doing a project of building a home, I do the home and the lot
So
is
these are
of the-
4 subdivided lots, you're saying?
Well, I don't know if there's more, but from what I remember, it's 4.
Okay.
So they're in this corner, and you can call Stefan Rage and ask him.
So that's on the
This is
region.
the,
area I see.
this is the Mountain Spring area?
Well, Mountain Spring is this road, which is
What's-
Amina.
Isn't that a little, it's a little cul-de-sac, right? There's a couple houses already, and there's
Where?
that area you're talking about.
This one, there's no construction here, so like,
Okay.
so
What road is that?
it's in Old Mountain Spring.
So now,
All Mountain Roads.
Hold on.
now when you were there that day with Fotis, you told us you were there in the Queen.
No, but that's here in Haiti Mountain.
Okay.
Can we just finish this drawing? You mind? All right, so,
So then, Old Mountain Road, there's other 3 lots of the owner's called Mr. Godfrey. He lives here with his wife, and at some point with T-Leaf, which is another realtor, broker, whatever, real estate, they arrange the same thing, that if they sell a project with 4 group deals, and the lot is of the owner, and there's 3 lots here. But this, I think about a month ago, the Godfrey, the owner, gave it to the son that's also a realtor. So 4 group has nothing to do anymore with these 3.
so it's Mr. Godfrey, 3 lots, it's on Old Mountain Road?
Yes,
Okay. And it's, how far away is it from these?
in car.
Is there a crossroad? This is near a crossroad, is there, what is this near, you know, or do you know the address, Mr. Godfrey? Okay,
You can call Prop Shufria, which is from T-Leaf.
what's tea leaf?
It's a yeah, like Holbrook Bank
Okay,
or
It's a trade.
here's some other,
so then this is Mountain Spring Road, but you have Typhoid Road. Well, this is longer, but I didn't remember. So Mr. One, he's a doctor, also had these 3 lots and did the same with Fortis, but this sold like 3 weeks ago. A guy came and bought the whole 3 lots, supposedly.
No, he was frequenting those lots, Fortis, so that's just some lots that you know that you
Well,
couldn't.
I've walked this, like I walked this lot maybe like 3 or 2 weeks ago with the people that bought them. The couple came, the husband and the wife. And we walked all the way up because he wanted to see the highest point to build a home and not be around like other homes. So yes, the 4 of us, we walked this, but that was my only time that I walked this particular lot. This one I've never walked, this one I've walked them like probably like 5 times with different clients. Then there's like a lot in between, or I don't know what, and then these 3 lots belongs to Fortis, but in 80 it's the house.
that's 84, 88.
Yes. This one, he just sold it to the Pavlonis,
Which one?
the 88. Pavlonis. They did a deposit of 50,000. They were working on the drawings. I met with him. I saw him on Thursday, the 23rd, in the office around 3. And I left because I had to pick up Nicole, but they were talking about the budget with Fortis and Beef. Fortis built his home in 77, that people are living there already. And then there's another cul-de-sac called Olcott.
That's the one I was thinking of, Alcott.
Okay, Fortis just sold this lot to the owner of 77 that apparently he bought it to build a home for his son, but Fortis has, for what I know, he has nothing to do with construction because Metaphor, I think it's that, I don't know, they're correct. They are builders as well, so he's building the house for the son. So all these places I've walked, besides not this, but the rest I've walked with Fortis. I've even driven my motorcycle around here in the past, in the lots.
No, it's not very well. While we're talking about these locations, especially even the water property, have you guys, when you guys are back there dirt biking or going for walks or anything, has he ever made any comments? Hey, this is a good place to, this is super private back here. Is this, you know, has he ever made any comments?
Yeah, this is
About
like a paradise for me.
Paradise or, hey, if you were gonna kill someone, I'd throw them back here because they'll never fall.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying things in joke.
Okay,
Alright,
we talked that this is a paradise for a motorcycle. Obviously, we knew that it's kind of illegal because you're not supposed to ride there, but it was like,
Okay.
Alright, so I just want to ask my question. You can't say that you saw photos from the moment you woke up until about 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the day of the 24th, correct?
Yes.
Based on what you told us, so that you,
In my mind,
not in your mind,
when
what
he
you can.
corrected me, I thought because that's how it is daily based, he was in the office.
You don't know for a fact you didn't see.
No, I did not.
And it's a large home, so.
So when you did see photos that day,
Just stop the video at 24:01. Detective, the defendant just indicated to you that she did not see photos in the office, is that correct?
Correct.
What had she told you on June 2nd about seeing photos in the office?
She said that she went to the office and she saw a meeting between Kent Moeni and Fotis Dulos. She saw him.
Thank you, sir.
Warren,
No, a little bit before because we had lunch.
lunch, but I remember from the other day when you and I spoke, that you had said it was sometime between 1 and 2.
Yes, but then again, I don't have my phone, so I did receive a call from him at 1:50. What was it? It's somewhere in the paper, 53 or 57. So obviously we
But when you gave
because
this
I'm not
time to
talking
your
to
attorney, you didn't have your phone.
No, the
Okay.
phone was taken away.
So
I got AT&T. I got into AT&T.
we're asking kind of like general questions, like, is he there or not? Which you really shouldn't need your phone to remember accurate. Like, was Fotis at the house? Was he in the shower with you or not? On the morning, that's what you're saying. We're not looking to pin you down on time.
I know.
Well, maybe he wasn't, but he wasn't, right?
No, he wasn't. I'll tell you, because I'm so used to taking showers
All right,
with him.
for sure.
In my mind, when I'm nervous.
Okay, well,
I'm trying to get to a point.
Okay.
And my point is that when you're eventually at the other properties with Fotis, he's out doing something. Just explain to us honestly how much you really did or didn't see, what he was doing or where he was. Because we've already determined that initially, whether you meant to be or not, you were untruthful with us about where Fotis was and what you knew. Okay? I'm not saying you were lying, I'm just saying that the information is now coming forward that you didn't really know what you were saying you did know. So when he was walking around the property where you guys were, which was what? Mountain Spring?
80 Mountain Spring.
You mean here?
Yes.
Yes. Did you really see what he was doing
I
or no?
thought I saw him fixing the ribbons. There are like pink ribbons that he covers so people don't step. Because when they do the open houses, people park in the grass and he gets upset.
Did you see him for a handful of hours or
No,
just a few
because
minutes?
I wasn't there 3 hours. I was just there for a period of time. I went inside to clean and I actually was upset because I'm like, I don't want to clean this house, but I always get upset, I get grumpy of doing something that I don't want to do.
Okay.
And I went up, I saw the counter, like, and I even told Andy, they were like, not poop, but something of an animal, like in front of the fireplace. And I went and I cleaned it. So I was inside the house. And then I would go out to talk because the receptions in all this area, you have to look. Even in the house for Jefferson to talk, the best is WhatsApp. Or in the end of Fotis' office, or in the kitchen, or outside in the garage. So I'm usually walking around places to find.
So was Fotis often in the wood line or in the, the backwoods of these areas doing stuff other than motorcycling or?
No, but we were motorcycling that day.
I'm just saying other than you suggested. Does he often go for walks or? does
He likes gardening, like in Jefferson, he's all the time doing gardening.
Okay.
Picking up, like even, I think it was Monday that I told you.
But what
That
the
day,
detective is asking,
that day,
what the detective is asking you
I-
is, are there areas around Mountain Spring or anywhere that he likes to go in addition to the motorbiking?
the only place we go moto is here. Me, myself, I've done it a couple of times in these 2 lots, but no, I mean, I don't know if he has another place that I don't know, but with me, no.
Going back to the morning of May 25th. It's a Friday, 24th. 24th. Was Kent at the house that morning?
Yes. Kent, I did see.
And what was he doing at the house?
He had a meeting with Fotis.
Okay, so you just told us that you know if Fotis was at the house the morning of May 24th. But now you're telling us that Kent was at the house having a meeting with Fotis the morning of May 24th. So you
Yes.
need to decide which it is.
Bueno, he said he was in a meeting,
You.
Kent, that he was having a meeting, no, sorry. Fotis told me that he has a meeting with Kent. I saw Kent because I went up to pick up my computer. So Kent was at the end of the office where there's a glass table, and I saw Kent. I'm not crazy.
When did Fotis tell you that he was having a meeting with Kent? As if you didn't see him that morning?
I think he told me the day before.
Okay.
That he had a meeting scheduled with Kent the next day on the phone.
Yes. Even as when he called me in the afternoon in one of the calls, and I wrote it.
Yep,
Go ahead, go ahead.
He said, remember that Rania is bringing some clients on Saturday at 9 in the morning, we have to clean the house. That's why
okay.
we had to kind
So
of,
the morning of May 24th, Friday,
yes,
you saw Kent at the Fort Jefferson
yes,
crossing
yes.
at about what time?
If I got home at 8:12, normally 8:15, 8:20, 8:30,
What, did you say anything to him? Did he respond?
I guess he said hi, I didn't really pay attention.
Okay. And what was he doing? He was in the hallway? Near the office?
In the far end of the office,
So he was in Fotis's office?
yes.
Was Fotis also in the office?
In my head I thought, but like Andy said, did you see him? I said, no, I did not see Fotis.
And I don't want you to, I mean, your attorney can't help you as far as I know. Remember what you saw. He may even be able to help you
Correct.
express what you remember. I'm not trying to trick you. I'm just trying to ask.
I'm telling you,
The morning when you saw Kent in Fotis's office, Friday morning,
yes.
you remember seeing Fotis in the office with him?
No,
Okay.
I did see Kent. He was wearing a light jacket, I don't know, blue.
Mhm.
I remember it was light, but I cannot tell you exactly. Then I went down and I opened my computer like I do, I made an omelette. I think I sent an email to the school, to Leanne, because I have the record in my computer, in my emails.
Okay. Do you normally, do you have a question?
I got some stuff in my head that I want to solve on, but.
Go ahead.
Stuff or anything, so Kent property. I'm just thinking about your property, where is your ring doorbell system now?
Where's the
The
what?
ring doorbell that's from the front of your house. Photos remove that ring doorbell? Do you guys ever have the video surveillance system in front of the house? That folks have, like a ring doorbell, you know, the ones that all the neighbors have that do video? Security.
It has a camera in the doorbell.
I don't even know, for what I know, we
Okay.
never had camera in the house.
Not in the house, outside.
No, the one that has cameras and you can knock, it's the neighbor. And you can ask them and then you can see me going in and out all the time.
We already, yeah, that was like, secondly, the other thing I was just saying before it slips my mind is, Howell's Red Tacoma. That's common for that to be left at their cliff, because we don't follow that the route.
Yeah, because the way it works is that Pavel, because they don't, Fotis doesn't want to put too many mileage in the cars, like, I mean, he wants to keep it.
So Fotis drives the Tacoma. We'll drive the Red Tacoma. Do you have access to it?
Fotis has 3 cars, the Cherokee, the Suburban, and the Raptor.
Right.
And Pavel has the Toyota, pickup Toyota.
Okay.
So usually Pavel doesn't drive the Toyota to New Canaan because
Right.
it's his car and he takes cars from the company.
Correct.
The only 2 cars that he usually takes, because the Suburban is kept more for Fotis to If he needs it like Wednesdays or Saturdays or Sundays with the kids, he takes the Suburban. And Pavel uses either the pickup truck or the Cherokee. And me, I use whatever of those 3 cars are left in the house. Because I use a lot the Raptor, I use a lot the Cherokee, and I use a lot the Suburban. Those are the only 3 cars. And Pavel always leaves his car in the...
So what did you drive that day, the Friday the 24th, when you went to Stop and Shop at 10 a.m.? You drove the white Jeep, right?
Yes.
So we can rule that one, right?
You what?
The white Jeep you drove on Friday morning,
Yes.
the Stop and Shop at 10 o'clock, you bought, I think, that cheese and a couple of things from there.
Yes, I can prosciutto,
Yeah.
for sure, monster
It's
cheese.
very good, by
Hard.
the way.
The what?
Prosciutto is good.
And you can look, I mean, the date of the prosciutto must be in the package inside the refrigerator.
Yeah. So you have white Jeep that day, right?
It's not my car, it's...
But you're driving,
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Pavel has the black Raptor.
In my head, yes,
In
I
your head.
didn't see Pavel, I didn't see the Raptor. But usually, if the white car is there, it's because Pavel took the...
So you took the white Cherokee that day to Stop and Shop because that was the only car left. Right, your focus was not home.
No, but I don't know why I think the Suburban was there. The black car, the black Suburban,
Was there?
I think it was.
Okay. That's
I'm
good.
doubting, but
Okay.
because you guys
No,
obviously.
just anything you can,
I
just
think
think of in your mind.
maybe it was, but maybe I'm wrong, and I don't
No.
know. I don't want to say something,
No,
but then you tell me you told me this.
We know you had the white, we know you had your white Jeep Grand Cherokee that morning. We know you went shopping. We know you weren't down
Yes, I
there.
then took a
We
picture
know
of
that.
the stupid.
Yeah, so all that little nitty gritty stuff, what we, like, I just want to let you know, we know where you were, number one. You went to school, you went to Stop and Shop. Safe to say.
No, I went to school, I came back to the house.
Well, I'm just saying, we know you're up in the area running errands and doing your motherly things and stuff.
I left up the purse,
Right,
I also saw Hodge and the secretary
yes.
at the warehouse
Yeah.
at like around, I don't know, 9:10, 9:15. I mean, you can call him, I saw him with my eyes.
So just to be clear, I know we're all on the same page, but we know you didn't come down to the can. We know you didn't go in that garage, kill Jennifer.
I
This isn't,
didn't know if she
so we're not-
lives to start with,
Right,
like
so-
I've never been down there.
I understand that.
we understand that. So we're just trying to account for some vehicles and possibly you obviously know where all is the best. I mean, you guys are a couple, right? You live together. So we were just hoping you could help lead investigators to Jennifer.
Okay.
And maybe that would be a
I
good
was
thing.
telling Andy, in my head, a lot of times he's in the office, in my head. Now,
Right,
I mean, I always, and even my mom would call me, what are you doing? No, I'm here in the kitchen, sending whatever. And for this, he's in the office, in my head. Now, I obviously, everything is a doubt, because I don't know 100% if he's in the
yeah, and
office.
you look at his track record with relationships, I mean, not too good. He left his wife, you guys hit it off, I'm not saying you're in the wrong,
No, he left the first
but
wife
the
for the
first,
second.
yes.
Yeah.
He killed the last one,
For Jennifer.
I'm
He was
just,
dating the second wife while he was
Yeah.
married to the first.
so he doesn't have a good track record
And
with
then
women.
he's dating you while he's married to the second.
Yes,
It's just what he does.
So that's what he
That's
does.
what he
So if
does.
he's gonna lie, I mean,
but the first one, I don't think he's dead, she's dead.
Doesn't matter.
no, I'm saying his track record with relationships and lying and deception.
Okay, well, yes, I guess, yes.
Okay.
Do you,
I don't know.
okay, so I think, no question.
Michelle, do you make it a habit of keeping receipts?
Yes,
You do? Do you have a lot of receipts?
yes. I keep them, if,
Where do you keep them?
what?
Where? When you keep a receipt, where do you put it?
I put them in my purse and they're like all messy. And then after a certain time, if you check my computer, I have a folder that says in Spanish gastos, which is expenses. And I put the monthly, and then I go in my computer and check with the credit cards with my receipts, because sometimes what you see the bank, it gives you numbers, and I'm like, okay, I don't remember, but I go with my receipts.
How
You
often
can-
do you do that for monthly?
Like every 3 months.
Okay.
Now,
So you,
you can also go, and I must have another folder that says Dale,
this is what,
Dale,
veil,
Colorado.
right?
And I keep all the receipts too, because at the end or stayed in Colorado, I have to, with the father of Nicole, I have to make the expenses because he gives me part of that money. We go half and half with everything that is with food, hotels, races. Well, if it's an equipment or something, he pays
Gotta keep on
fully.
business expense. There's a business expense. Right, you wanna keep receipts for business expenses? Or you just wanna
No,
keep
for
receipts?
him, because, right, he's never asked me, let me see the receipts to see if it's true that we're spending, but I keep them, and it's all in my computer. If you go and it says gastos, and it says 2018, 2017, 2019, you could find,
So if today you went to Starbucks and you got a receipt from Starbucks, what would you do with that receipt?
I put it in I throw it in my purse,
And then what?
and it stays there for probably 2 months.
Okay. So are there, do you only have?
And I keep mostly, the ones that I carry is the ones from my credit card, but I also use Foodie's credit card for, mostly for supermarket, for gas, because he puts the gas for the company. Supermarket he used, but I think it changed the law or something, and he said, I don't need any more of the receipts, but I leave them there on the kitchen.
You only have your purse with you?
Sorry?
You keep your purse with you generally?
Usually I keep 2 purses, and actually one stayed in the kitchen, the brown one, and this one. But then I have all
If you have a receipt today that you put it in that purse?
If this is the one I'm using, yes. If it's the other one, it
Do
goes.
you leave it in the purse you put it in, or you
Yes.
transfer
No.
the purse?
Where is that?
Okay, so would you say that there should be a lot of receipts at your house, in your purse?
2 months worth of receipts?
Yes and no, because I'm being bad with it in terms of like when it's with Foodie's credit card, I try not
When
to.
did you last look at your credit card bill?
Yesterday.
Okay, so, yeah, but around the 24th. Like, when did you last go through your credit card bill? Early in May or early?
I think on the 20th, when Foti said that his lawyer said that we have to do a timeline to remember where we were or whatever, I think that day I went through my purse.
Jacob. Jacob.
Yes, I think it was Jacob or Raymond.
Okay.
Now, and I went, I wanna keep track, so I like verify that I
Alright, so
was.
you don't have to tell me what your lawyer told you to do, but.
So I have the receipts and they stayed, I think, in the other purse, in the brown one. And the ones lately I gave you yesterday. The ones.
So there should be a lot of receipts that we're trying to find out in the brown purse that was at Fort Jefferson Cross.
Yes,
Okay.
and probably ones from months ago.
What if why would it be that there aren't a lot of receipts in that purse? Is there a reason why?
Why there is a lot?
Well, why there are a few? In other words, why perhaps in the purse are the receipts that you were referring to on the 24th and not other receipts prior to that?
Because I fixed them when I had to do the timeline. I think this was Sunday that we did, like to write down in a paper that's probably the paper.
Sunday the
you found.
26th, right?
Sorry?
That would be 2 days after the 24th, the 26th.
Yes.
Okay.
I separated and I said it was a way to prove it myself that I
Okay,
was
so you want to go
informed.
back over your timeline and want to establish your whereabouts certain times.
Well, not to prove if the police come like this, and I went to the supermarket, I went to, I didn't buy that, man,
So you took the receipts, you gathered all the receipts at that time in order to construct the timeline for your whereabouts? Is that what you're saying?
No. To have it as a proof in case you guys ask me, what were you? And I can go and say, listen, yes, it's true. I was in Stop and Shop at 9.
Sean, I have a question. So with all those receipts that you discarded
I don't
them?
discard it, I keep them they're in my purses.
All of them for the last 2 months?
Yes, they are accumulated. I mean, well, I just gave them yesterday to you, but can I open my purse?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you do whatever
I
you want.
might have,
You can leave the room if you want.
This is-
Tell us to leave.
no, but I tell you, like, this is a, Well, I took, this is another receipt, like, I put them in my, this is the thing to charge my food. Like, I keep my receipts, and they're basically, I throw them, and they keep
Do you
accumulating.
mind if I look at the receipts? How long have you had that purse?
Since I left the house. When I bought it,
No, how long have you been using that receipt as a receptacle for your receipts? Or that purse for the receptacle of your receipts? How long have you been putting receipts in that purse? Since you had to leave before Jefferson?
Yes, I got
Okay,
this.
I have 2 receipts here, one from the 5th and one from the 5th. So 2 from yesterday. Any other receipts in there?
No, I gave him all the receipts yesterday when I came here.
Do you understand how it looks sometimes?
And then my mom, since I arrived here, my mom has been paying a lot, so I haven't bought that many things.
Look, you have to look at the fact that you're in the car when the trash is getting dumped. Okay, nobody in the world believes that you didn't know what was going on, what was not, what he was doing, what he was throwing out. There's no way you weren't asking, what are we doing, what is this stuff? This is abnormal, this is abnormal behavior.
You did that too?
I think,
What is it?
no, but can I
Absolutely.
explain?
That's what we're
We've done this in the past, to throw garbage. We've done it in Avon Pond, I've done it in your clinic with
So when you asked them,
but
what are you
my
doing, why are you doing this?
No,
Do you need a
I,
sec?
It's
It's gonna be good in states.
Okay. Do you want to, well, if you're leaving the room, we're gonna. Oh,
You're here, no, I'm not going to see, right? Rachel, I thought.
you don't shake.
yeah.
Hey Bowman, nice to see you, sir.
Trying to go resolve.
No, we're here for you. We wanted
But
it.
I feel like, that everything I say, I'm saying it wrong, so.
I'm not expecting you to say like spot on. The things that we're asking, the information we're asking you for.
Can I go
just
back?
listen, just listen. The information that we're asking you for is not required, should not require you to have your phone to be precise with times. We're asking in the morning of kind of questions. These are general questions right now, and you shouldn't have need to have your phone, or you shouldn't have to be referring to receipts. We're trying to get information on where Jennifer is and what happened to her and who was responsible for what happened to her. Because we have a pretty good idea what happened.
Okay.
We need to find her for the family.
I understand.
And when the state's attorney Colangelo walks back in here in a minute or two, I think he may have a few things just to explain, because I feel like they're not telling us everything.
Okay, what I was explaining, that throwing out the garbage, for me, it's not, this is something new that we've done.
Okay.
What I was concerned was that I'd never been in that area.
Sure.
So I was like, why here? And yes, it was like construction, cars, I'm like, he would stop, someone honked, I'm like, you have to move the car. Then he moved it 3 meters and he stopped again, like, it was like too much.
So what kind of question did you ask?
I said, why do we have to be doing that now?
And what did he say?
No, nothing, he's like, relax, everything is fine, it's just a few minutes. I was on the phone too, I was texting, talking, so it's not like I was like, let me see, like, and you have my phone, you can see that.
Right, we're not worried about showing that you're there, you placed yourself there, we understand.
I know, but it's not like,
We're
he
just
said,
going
you
by-
wanna go to Starbucks? I said, yes.
Right.
If I would have had my daughter, which I usually have her
Yeah.
after 3:30, when
Yeah.
she doesn't have activities of
Right.
school, because
But she had to play that night, right?
she had a play, I would have stayed at home. I would have not gone to Starbucks. That wasn't a plan that I would have, yeah. I went to Starbucks, I was alone in the house. I had to wait to pick up Nicole at 9 at night, because her play was from 7 to 9. I went as a companion, but If I knew he was doing something wrong, I would not even walked into that car. That's the part that I'm like, wow, I mean, if he really did this and he's putting myself,
You have to see from our side, when we first spoke to you, I asked you specifically about something you dropped in the sewer and you pretended like you didn't know. 20 minutes later, now all of a sudden you know. The first time we talked, your focus was in the house. The first time you told us that you were in the house and woke up, you took a shower of photos. Now you didn't take a shower of photos.
okay.
So this is all gonna come out and it makes you look like you're not telling the truth. Like you're not telling the truth.
You told me that I'm like in panic and that I'm
I'm
like
not trying to
my
panic
legs,
you,
No, we want you to relax. We
I
want you to
can't,
relax.
like, how
because
can
we
you relax if I'm like, like a murderer?
I'm not trying to upset you.
First thing to do is stop talking and take some deep breaths. I understand you're nervous.
Just tell us.
Okay, we're not here to make you nervous. We want you to listen. Well, I'm trying to tell you how you can be less nervous. Breathe and just listen to what I'm saying. We want you to take your time and give us as accurate information as you possibly can, but give us all the information you can.
Okay,
Because if this comes down to a trial, you would have a jury of 12 people, and they would be told the story, and then they would have to say, is that a believable story? And I'm not sure they would believe your story. I'm sorry. So I think we were,
talking about the drive.
in my heart,
And I think you asked her, John asked, what did you say to, what did he say to you? Trip.
Yes.
It's your show.
It's basically, what I'm saying is that nobody is believing that you didn't know as you're going from can, throwing stuff out, dropping stuff in the sewer. No one's gonna believe that you didn't know what was going on. And then we retrieved these items and we've already told you what we retrieved. So,
the license plate
more than that.
more than a lot.
and.
More than that.
We're not gonna go over what we retrieved, just
Oh,
suffice
I
to say.
remember the license plate and
Right. Can you tell us anything about that license plate?
a pillow with blood. And you
Okay,
showed
Michelle,
the picture.
can you tell us anything about that
I
license?
don't, I didn't even know.
Did you ever see it?
No,
Alright, but you saw the mailer?
the FedEx,
Box.
well, what I saw was in a box, it was like an envelope.
Like a soft side envelope?
Yes, it wasn't a box,
Okay.
it was an envelope, what
Did
I
you
saw.
see photos of putting it into the store?
I saw it that I did see in the car, I don't remember if it was in the back or in my
That's fine.
feet.
That's fine.
That I do remember seeing. Now that they had license plates inside, I did not know.
Mhm.
I did not know those license plates belong, and I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
that they existed.
Okay. And that's possible, that's feasible. But given all of the information that you're driving,
And sorry, can I,
yeah, absolutely.
I don't remember if it was you or you told me that I handed it to him.
That was,
And I said
Don't worry
yes, but
don't worry about
because I
that.
was nervous, I don't know if I handled it
Don't
or
worry
not.
about that. That's not, you saw it in the car.
But
It's on video being, okay.
both of you or someone of you
Don't
that night
worry about
asked
that.
me if I
Disregard that,
gave.
ignore that. And we're moving past that, that's not an issue. It's not an issue.
Well, when I said that yes, I passed it.
Okay, we're starting over with that. Point, it was in the car, it's on video going into the drain, we pulled it out of the drain, we found what was inside. That's all we need to know. As far, and you're telling us you never saw him doing with anything with license?
No, I've seen those envelopes before in the office, in
Okay,
underneath his printer,
okay.
because he sends a lot of, supposedly, he sends a lot of
But given what's going on, where he's driving the Raptor, you're riding, he's stopping at multiple locations, people are beeping, you're saying, hey, let's get out of
and
here.
I remember a fire
Right.
truck.
When a fire truck goes by, and you ask him, why are we doing this?
No, why we're here, in this
Why we're
area.
here? And he says what?
He said, relax, it's okay, it's just a few
And
minutes,
and are you
right?
saying that there was no other conversation about what was going on there?
I was on my phone texting,
that.
you can even verify
I
it.
don't need to do that. I'm asking you the conversations that aren't on the
There's
phone,
no
that were
calls.
going on between you and
Well, I
Lois.
was a little bit upset because I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be in that area. I've never been in that
Because you said
area.
what, creepy, you called it creepy. It's not a nice area,
I
right?
told it creepy to you guys. I don't think I said creepy to him.
Okay. But you knew you were somewhere you don't normally go, right?
Actually, when I went to the guy to see the GPS, I was driving with my mom and the GPS almost got me there and I'm like, I remember this, like this area, I think, and I told my mom, this is where I think we drove because, again, I think some of you said, or you told me that there was no construction. I remember seeing.
We're talking about today. We're having this conversation now. Don't worry about what you said or
Well,
what you
because
said.
I said things.
Just listen, please.
Well, this is a good time to take a break.
So after you guys were driving down, he was
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take our break until 11:20. Please do not discuss the case.
Wow, this was awful. I don't know how they expect to get anything out of her. When she comes into the room, it's obvious she's already been crying. Understandable, given the circumstances. I'm curious, does anyone know if Michelle was a citizen, an American citizen, at the time of all of this? If she had left FOTUS, would she be deported? Okay, back to this. First of all, there's too many people in the room. Right off the hop. And then it gets worse. People coming in and out. There's all kinds of commotion going on. She's trying to talk about something here that's important and scary and the stakes are high. And these guys are not listening to her. This was atrocious. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people already have their minds made up about her, but I can't pretend not to see the things that I see. And by the way, I am not in any way suggesting that other parts of the investigation were not good. It looks like these police officers worked extremely hard. I am talking about this interview. This interview happened because Michelle wanted it, because she thought she was going to be helpful. She initiated the meeting. The one detective says right at the beginning, if you want to see your family and your daughter, immediately there is a threat. There's no thanks. We're really glad you're going to help us. Immediately a threat. That was astounding to me. I guess it depends on the law where you are, but boy, that is, if it's not over line, it is certainly on the line of what is okay and what isn't. So right off the hop, where is Jennifer? And I get that they need to know that they want to find her. I get it. But it's confrontation immediately. They have not listened to anything. I mean, she's had no chance to speak. And she is trying to explain something, and he assumes what she's going to say. He assumes he knows what she's going to say. He has his mind made up. And this is not a good place to be for a detective. She's trying to talk about her daughter's room, and she's looking at her lawyer, like double checking, almost like for permission, or do I understand this correctly? The detective interrupts her. She can't speak. And then he asks a different question altogether. She's referring to the timeline that the news has been calling alibi scripts. The detective is calling it a script, a rehearsed story. Well, she had previously told them that they made a timeline. This was not something that she was hiding, ever. And he says, well, we found that script. Well, it was never something that she was hiding. I think that says something. If it was a script and a story to rehearse, well, and the police hadn't found it yet, why would she bring it up and tell them that it exists? I think they're going to argue about a language barrier, and certainly there may be some issues there. But what I'm seeing is between her and the men she's surrounded by is a barrier of experience, life experience, and assumption. Their life experience is one thing. I mean, they get lied to all the time. And her life experience is completely, it's like on another planet from theirs. I think that at least one of those detectives has already made up his mind. So he's calling it a rehearsed script and asking her who's involved. She says she doesn't know. And she corrects him. And she says, I need to tell you, it's not a rehearsed story. You know, if she hadn't corrected him, I don't think it would mean much because everything was coming at her so quick. And sometimes people just are like, you know, deer in the headlights and they give a wrong answer or they agree with something just because they're just so overwhelmed. But she does actually correct that. And she's, no, it's not rehearsed. But he's not letting her talk about it. So he puts forth this is how it is. This is how I'm going to characterize it. I want to know information. Oh, you're not telling me what I want to know. You're not going the direction I want. There's a difference between taking control of an interview, which you should do, and, you know, running over the witness. You have to let the witness speak. Anyway, I'm ranting. I'll stop. Okay. Fotis was there on Thursday, she's saying, and he argues with her about saying, well, there was no thunderstorm. And she says, well, it was raining, right? Turns out that he had checked the weather on a historical weather website, and the weather that he checked was 24 miles away from Jefferson. Have you ever seen it rain across the street and not on your side of the street? Or rain in one part of the city and not another? So 24 miles. So it doesn't matter what she says. They're going to argue with her. Michelle clarifies, well, actually reiterates, because she'd said this before. From 12:59 a.m. to 6:40 a.m., she was in her daughter's bedroom and not with Fotis. She said this before. He says, was Fotis there in the morning? And she says, yeah. And the detective says, well, what if I told you we have evidence that he's not there? He keeps doing this to her. Well, I have evidence, or we know that what you're saying is not true. Whether it's an attempt at deception on his part or if it's just a mistake, it's not working the way he wants it to work. What can happen is that a witness will start to doubt their own perception. They will doubt their own memory. If someone in authority is saying, we actually have evidence that what you're saying is wrong, and they keep telling you that, people frequently will change their story to match what they're being told. If in my head, I swear that my friend was wearing a red t-shirt the other day when we went hiking, and I swear up and down. Well, if somebody says to me, your memory's wrong, I actually have a picture of him that day and he's wearing a green shirt. Well, I'm going to think in my head, oh, I guess I am wrong. I don't assume that the evidence is wrong. So someone in authority is saying, oh, we know something different. It makes people doubt themselves. And that he had set the tone of confrontation right off the hop. It's clear that he has assumptions in his head. Wow. Then somebody says to her, you're the most hated woman in America. Well, what a way to cozy up to a witness. Then later they're saying, well, we're here for you and we don't want to make you nervous. Come on. And this is just the beginning. They expect her to what? Say, oh, I trust you. I'm going to tell you everything. Really? She says to the detective, oh, well, now that you tell me he wasn't there, he wasn't. She's not saying, I remember that he wasn't there. She's saying, I must be wrong. Just like I was wrong about the color of my friend's shirt last weekend. And she also clarifies, well, look, usually this is what we do. Usually we shower together. I always get up at 6:40, except on Thursdays, all that. So she's telling what she thinks to be true. And she's explaining why, if something is incorrect, why she might have said it. And you know what? Witnesses do that, and police officers know that too. I want to make the point when she says, now that you tell me he wasn't. And I thought that was interesting because it was very easy to get her to comply with what they wanted her to say. She says she was trying to do the timeline. She's just, I don't want to say like she's innocent, but she's a little bit, I can't think of the word. It's not oblivious. She just sort of says, well, I was trying to do the timeline. I mean, they called it a script and a rehearsed story. And she brings it up again and it just flows out, right? I'm trying to do a timeline. And she's in a place in her head where she's remembering. I'm starting to think this is not an alibi script at all on her part. Fotis is another story. Fotis trying to make her say a certain thing, that's another thing. They present drawings. That was interesting to me too. Because remember, Michelle called the meeting. So the lawyer and Michelle are presenting these drawings. Remember earlier in the last interview, the police let her know, look, all of this, it is not going to be over until we find Jennifer. Michelle has every reason to think of whatever she can, to do whatever she can to help the police find Jennifer, because then Michelle's nightmare will be done. She's racking her brain. This is what I'm seeing. Somebody's racked their brain. And so she draws out these maps. You know what? There was the pond. And there was this motorcycle route. I bet you they don't know about that. So I'll talk to you about the motorcycle route. She mentions too, there's a reservoir on that route. Says they took a different route twice. It's clear she's not saying Jennifer is in any of these places. And I don't believe that she's misdirecting here. This is clearly in response to the messages they already gave her earlier. Then she's talking about the different parcels of property and how it's divided up and where the lots are and all that. And I found that interesting because they already know about 80 Mountain Springs because they already talked about it. But remember in the previous interview, they had showed her an old Google aerial map and she said, but these trees aren't here. This isn't correct. There's a garage here. So I think she's trying to be helpful. One of the detectives asks, while you were out in this area, did Fotis ever talk about, this is what a private place? And she says, yeah. And then he says, did he ever say anything like, well, if you wanted to kill someone, she physically moved back and made a face in obvious revulsion. I believe that Fotis planned on killing Jennifer. I wouldn't put anything past him, but he's not going to display that to other people. He's too sly for that. He's not going to tell her unless he has a way of keeping her quiet. He's not going to let her know. There's a point at which she clarifies the issue of having seen Fotis or not seen Fotis in the office. This was actually a little bit confusing. She says she didn't see him in the office, but previously she said she saw or heard him with Kent. So later in this interview, the police bring it up again. She says Kent was in the house. She confirms that. She saw Kent. And she also said that Fotis told her he had a meeting. So when she saw Kent, she thinks he's there for the meeting with Fotis. So Fotis must be there. And she'd seen the Suburban there as well. When Fotis isn't home, he's at the office. What we're seeing her do is something really common. And you see, there's almost a frustration between the police and the witness because the police are focused on one thing, on what they want, on what they're asking. And to them, when they're asking the question, it's really clear to them what they're asking. They're not actually getting into her head. So there's this barrier here between what everybody's even thinking, like where everybody's coming from in the first place. You don't need a language barrier for that. We are asking you this question. We all do this to some extent. You see a thing and you assume something from that thing. See if I can think of an example. My neighbor needed to use my driveway. So my neighbor parks his car in my driveway. My friend comes along and thinks that I have company that day because there's a car in my driveway. Oh, somebody's visiting her. I won't bother her. So he's made an assumption. It's easier to make an assumption if something is the same way every day. If you always do a thing and everything around that thing looks the same, you assume that everything is the same. I'm not sure if I'm making sense. So let me know in the comments. People will see a couple of things. They will put it together in their brain. They will formulate an understanding about it and not realize that they've even done that. So they will believe a thing that may not actually be true because they've put the pieces together. So I think this is part of what's happening. And she even indicates that. She says, well, in my head, he was there. He told me he had a meeting with Kent. I saw Kent. I saw the Suburban. When he's not, he goes to the office every day. So that's what she thinks. That is very different than lying. From the police point of view, they're saying, yeah, but did you actually see? Right? What did you actually see? She's giving information, thinking, okay, I'm giving information. That happens all the time. When the officer says, you shouldn't need your phone to know. Well, actually, that's not the case either. Tell me exactly what time did you have dinner yesterday? If you always have dinner at 5 o'clock, you're going to probably tell me 5 o'clock. But maybe it was 5:30 or 5:15 or 4:45 or maybe 6 and you forgot, like you got home late. Where were you on this earth and what were you doing at 2:30? Well, you have to go back. So you look at, was I at the bank? What was I doing on my phone? What was I doing on my email? People do need those things to remember. And the fact that she's looking at her phone to try and remember sort of where she was and what was going on tells me that it wasn't rehearsed. What she does is she's saying what she usually does. So she has a routine and this is usually how it goes. This may be a function of really not remembering clearly or thinking, well, I must have done this because I always do this. She said something interesting about the Mountain Springs place that she didn't say before. She said before, and in this one, that she was not happy that she had to clean there and didn't understand, why do I have to clean? This is unusual that she's going to have to go and clean there. She didn't spend the amount of time required to clean it. And she said she found something in front of the fireplace and she thought it was something from an animal. That makes me wonder what that was. What did it look like? I would have had a lot of questions about that. I don't know if they're going to follow up and ask questions about that particular mess. And I would be asking about the state of the house and go through the rooms. How did you clean in here? What did you clean there? And I don't know if in this investigation they eventually do that or not. So then they get to the point where she's saying she saw Kent. It's when the officer specifically asks, did you see Fotis? That's when she says no. Again, it's the difference. It's how you ask a question. What happened this day, right? Where were you? To something very specific. You can say, oh, who was there? That's a different question from, did you see this person? Or who did you actually see with your own eyes? And when the officer asks her that specific question, he gets the specific answer. She explains the reason why Pavel takes the company cars. When she first brought up Pavel, I wondered if she was maybe trying to suggests the possibility of him being involved. And that's not what she said, but my brain goes there because I've seen people do that so many times before. But now she explains why he has the Raptor. And it's because it's a company car, so he leaves his personal car and uses the company cars. And that makes perfect sense. So that changed my mind a little bit about her, maybe trying to purposely cast a shadow there. When they're trying to clarify who's driving what, she says Pavel's driving the Raptor. She says, in my head, yes. You see, she's doubting now everything she thinks. If there were less people in the room, I think they could have got this woman to say almost anything. In thinking about who Fotis is, this is the kind of woman he would pick because he can manipulate her. He can control. She can be gaslit fairly easily, I think. This is my opinion. But she also says, but the Suburban was there at the office. She's doubting herself, but she's sure she saw that. So she's trying to explain sort of where she's coming from. Because in her head, she thinks a thing, and so that's what she tells them. In her head, she believes Fotis is in the office. So that's what she says. She's saying, well, I tell my mother, well, he's in the office. And one of them brings up Fotis's track record with relationships. She's clued out. She's not getting what he's saying. And again, I don't think that's necessarily a language issue so much as it is a paradigm issue or a life experience issue. This is the lens somebody is looking through and seeing things through, and hers is completely different. So obviously she trusts Fotis or trusted him because she's believing whatever. She's not saying, well, where did you go? And, well, you had affairs before. You had an affair with me. And now, where are you? She's not doing that. She's saying, oh, well, he's at work. Well, that's great for Fotis. And then she explains, she has to save receipts for childcare. She also has to give receipts for groceries. And she describes this thing, and I think I was probably smiling because, I just throw the receipt in my purse and it kind of floats around in there, right? It's messy, and then eventually sort of go through them, clean it up. Women, how many of you do that? Or in your wallet, I just throw the receipt in and it sits there for a couple months, and once in a while you go, what is all this? and you, do I need this? And you sort it out. And sometimes you sort it out after a week. Sometimes it's a couple of months. If you have a purse and you do that, I think a lot of us do that. You know how that goes. These guys go on and they're interrupting her. So she can't speak. The message from the beginning is a threat. We don't believe you. You're hated. Oh, but we're on your side. And by the way, you have this huge audience and people coming in and out. She mentions Fotis said they have to do a timeline. And Fotis is going to be wanting to protect himself, and he won't care who he uses. He won't care who has to go down the toilet for him. Now we know that Fotis is on her about a timeline. The detectives are like, there should be a lot of receipts in that brown purse. And they go on about these receipts and how it should be. And it's clear they have no idea how this works with purses. They are clueless. Then they ask her, why did you keep those receipts from your shopping and from Starbucks and all that? And she says, well, to have proof in case you asked. If you want to think the worst, you could assume that she planned in advance to go to Starbucks and keep this receipt. I would think Fotis would do something like that. But anyway. You could read it like that. Or you could read it the way she's saying it. Well, I throw the receipts in the purse and then I'm being told I have to do a timeline and this has happened and the police came to our house. So yeah, I pulled out my receipts. So I don't think that this is as dramatic or horrible as some people might decide to interpret it. Remember, everybody is innocent until proven guilty. The proof has to overwhelm that presumption of innocence. There is a perfectly plausible explanation for why she happens to still have that Starbucks receipt and why she took it out of her purse. If you or someone close to you is being accused of something, or there was suspicion cast on you, or a lawyer says you need to do a timeline, you're going to look through your receipts, you're going to look through your email, you're going to look through your phone, you're going to look at everything. Okay, what was I doing? Like, how much can I put together? Think about 2 weeks ago, and I want you to put together your days and nights in order, minute by minute, the whole time, and get it right. Could you do that without looking at your phone or your email or your date book or anything like that? Could you do it? I think if you could, it would be remarkable. Then they say nobody believes that you didn't know what you guys were throwing out. And I gotta admit that when I was first looking at this, I thought, oh, come on, who doesn't ask questions about this? This is weird. But now we know because they've done this before where they've thrown out garbage. She's trying to be accurate. First, she's in trouble with them because she wasn't accurate. Then she's in trouble because she wants to check receipts and emails and phone because she needs it to remember because she wants to be accurate. And they're saying you shouldn't need that. She reiterates that she did ask questions about throwing out the garbage, but her question was not, why are we doing this? Because she thinks that she knows why. She thinks it's the same thing that they've done many times before. Her questions to FOTUS were, why now and why here? And she is clear and she has been consistent on this. In a previous video, maybe two, I wondered out loud, why are they going to this Starbucks? Like, why would they do that? And why would they go to Starbucks at all when usually they go on a Thursday? Well, now we know why. The daughter had a play at school. And why that Starbucks? Well, that was FOTUS's decision. Then they get into this thing with her about, well, first you say you showered together and you didn't shower together. I mean, which is it? I get where they're coming from. But she had already explained. I told you what we always do. So I just figured, this is what we always do. This is how it goes. And she is beginning to understand, just beginning now, to understand that there's a difference between saying, FOTUS was there and because you believed that or you assumed that, and I saw FOTUS with my own eyes and he was there. This mistake from witnesses is unbelievably common. And remember, FOTUS had written this timeline thing. That's not her handwriting on page 1 of that timeline. So she's going to look at that and go along with it. Just like she goes along with the police when they say, oh, well, we know XYZ. She goes, okay. So it's a thing that usually happens. FOTUS is telling her with the piece of paper, this is what happened. And so that must be what happened. But now she's thinking about it and thinking, did I actually see that? She either doesn't remember or she didn't actually see that. I don't think that's the big gotcha. Even though they're all speaking English, they might as well be speaking languages from completely different planets. So she's trying to clarify. She thinks she's doing the right thing by trying to clarify and trying to come up with something. She wants to give them what they want. She's in jeopardy and they're interrupting and accusing, and she's surrounded by a bunch of men in this room and being told she's hated, and then she's nervous because she's been accused. She's been charged, and the one guy says, well, we're not trying to make you nervous, as they continue to interrupt her, and they even interrupt each other in this. again, they're pushing on this issue of, well, when you were driving around dropping off the garbage, what did you discuss? And she's, again, her statement on this has been consistent. Again, says, she asked him, why are we doing this now? Why are we here? And he, Fotis, shushed her, basically. Just relax, it'll be fine. She's in the vehicle with it. What is she gonna do? Jump out and run away? She's with a controlling man. She knows he's controlling. In his vehicle, driving around in areas she's not really comfortable with. And so what is she gonna do? He shushes her. What? There is no more conversation to be had. And remember earlier when the detective asked, well, was he upset? She said, do you mean angry? She knows that he can get angry. Now, if you're in a confined space, in a truck where, he's got control, and you know that this guy gets angry, and you have brought up, like, I don't like this, and he shushes you, how much are you really going to argue if you're in that position? It looks to me like Michelle and the attorney are thinking, let's do what we can, rack your brain, let's do what we can to help. They called the police, not the other way around. And the other thing is, you don't hear her or the lawyer saying, we want a deal. I don't see this as horrible as what I'm hearing other people say. Sorry, I don't.